Some elected leaders speak to me and be very blunt. This court is built for Africa and for thugs like Putin, was what one senior leader told me. We don't view it like that.
This court was built for Africa. That is the chief prosecutor of the ICC or IJC, whatever they call it, the International Criminal Court or the International Court for Justice, whatever they call it. It is a criminal court. They don't offer no justice to nobody. And the leader, the chief prosecutor, was being interviewed by CNN. We cannot play the full video because due to copyright. We may not be able to play the full video, but I'll urge you to go and watch the full video. He was being interviewed by CNN, and then he said a senior leader, government leader, told him that the ICJ or the ICC, International Criminal Court, point blankly told him that it was built for Africa and for thugs like Putin. So for the Western world, who have been going around the world committing crimes, for them, their flesh is too beautiful for the International Criminal Court of Justice or whatever they call it. For them, they shouldn't be. And sometimes I wonder, like, if I am a leader, like an African leader who is a signatory to that, my country is a signatory to that, and I hear the chief prosecutors speaks like this, then the next day straight away I'm opting out of that rubbish thing called International Criminal Court for Justice. The next day I'm getting out of it, and nobody cannot question me, because if countries like American leaders cannot be prosecuted by the International Criminal Court, even though they are the country that is going around the world and then destroying everybody, invading countries. If the Prime Minister of Britain, Tony Blair, after what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan, if they cannot be prosecuted, why should an African leader be signatory to that? Sometimes I wonder why. Why do we allow ourselves as children of Africa to be ridiculed like this? How do they force you to go and sign and make a commitment to a court that they themselves don't want to be part of it? How did they convince you to do that? How? And today, from the horse's mouth itself, he is telling you that that court was made for Africa. It was built for Africa, not for the Europeans, not for the Americans. For them, they are so special for that court, and yet they are sponsoring the court. They are sponsoring the court to go around the world and indict people. But for they themselves, no. What is the justice? What is the so-called global village? How did they convince our leaders? I remember from day one, I never liked this court. From day one, I was always against this court. I remember when the former president of Ghana, President Kufuor, wanted to sign, when he wanted to sign into this, I said, why? I question why. How come like a country like America is not a signature? They are a signature to that, but they refuse to ratify it, to put it into law in America. So an American soldier will go out and commit whatever crime. An American leader will go out, send his troops to go and commit any crime like they did like Obama did in Libya, and nobody will not indict him for that. But an African leader, an African country that has never invaded another country, your leader can be taken to the Hague and then they will do whatever they want to him. Why? French leaders are not allowed to that, to be prosecuted by or to be indicted by the ICJ. But the other day, French troops went to Cote d'Ivoire, captured an African leader, and take him to the Hague. Why? Africa, why are we doing this to ourselves? And we expect people to respect us. I am telling you, we are calling on all African countries to opt out of this criminal, because this is an insult to us. If our leaders don't see this to be an insult, we, this generation of Africans, we see that to be insult. Opt out. That was the reason why I like the former president of Gambia. He asked
Africans so much that they are always preaching to African leaders about good governance, the rule of law, and respect for human life and rights, have been apparently eerily quiet about the very dangerous, racist, and inhuman behavior.
He questioned them. He asked this question. He said, why should I be part of something? My country doesn't have any intention to invade another country. My country doesn't have any history of invading another country. And I will be a signatory to that. But those people who are going around the world invading everybody, they are not part of it. Why? Why should it be so? How did they call you? Like, what kind of mindset did they have for you? How did they see you? That for them, they will tell you that they're not going to be part of that court. They're not going to be part of that court, but they will force you to sign to be part of it. Like, why? If the ICJ doesn't have use, abolish it. Let everybody be. But don't tell me that we have an international court, and then in reality, you are telling the prosecutor of that court that the court was built for Africa.
Distinguished members on the Hill and to the administration, that Rome Statute values are quintessential American values. It's against bullying. It's against the untrammeled power against the most vulnerable. It's the rights and the dignity of the individual. It's the protection of babies. I mean, these are fundamental American values that should engender bipartisan support. Now, of course, this situation, unfortunately, lies on the San Andreas fault of international politics and strategic interests. And of course, I've had some elected leaders speak to me and be very blunt. This court is built for Africa and for thugs like Putin, was what one senior leader told me. We don't view it like that.
How did it, like Africans, let us think. Let us question ourselves. Like, how did they see us? How did they see us that they will create a court just for Africa? Even though we in Africa, we don't have a history of invading other people. African countries don't have history of leaving their country to invade other countries. We don't have that history, but they do. For the past 240, 70 years, America has always been invading countries. The same thing for the past 500 years, Britain has always been invading countries. The same thing with the French. They have been invading countries, unaliving people, unaliving leaders, and yet the so-called International Court for Justice, they are not signatory to that. But we, who are not invading other people, they are telling us that that court was created for us. Africans, let us stand up, especially with this generation of Africans. We cannot allow this disrespect to continue. This is a disrespect to the highest level. We cannot allow this disrespect to continue. Why do you think the rest everybody don't respect us as African people? If a thug in Europe or in America can open his dirty, filthy mouth and say that court was built for Africa, just come to think of that. Psychologically, how are they preparing the rest of the world to see us as African people? Nobody shouldn't respect them. If we really want our dignity as children of Africa, then we must stand up and opt out of this rubbish thing called International Criminal Court. If we want, let us create our own. Let the African Union create our own, so that when we have situations in Africa, we deal with it. We cannot have situations in Africa, then our leaders will be sent to Europe. It's all part of the colonial mindset they have towards us. The inferiority complex. or the supremacy complex that they have towards Africa. They are superior to you. So for them, what they cannot go through, you have to go through that. They can sit down and decide for you. It's enough of that, and it is about time we bring and we stop it. And we're calling on African youth. We're calling on African youth to demand that your government, your respective government, should opt out of those, sorry to say, thing called International Criminal Court for Justice. What is Criminal Court for Justice? What is justice about that court? That they will tell you that that court was formed or was built for Africa, and it talks like Putin. What is different between Putin and Obama? What is different between Putin and then what's the name, Tony Blair? What is different between Putin and Joe Biden? George Bush has caused worse than Putin can ever cause, and yet I don't know sometimes, and that is why I love Putin. He doesn't give a damn about these people. And then you know what, African leaders, until we unite the continent of Africa and be strong enough to defend our dignity, these people will continue to disrespect us, no matter, they don't care how much we talk. They don't care how much we complain. They will continue to disrespect us. For us to bring an end to that, we must stand up and unite the continent of Africa. That is why One Africa Mission is here. Please support our mission. Let us all together fight for a united, better Africa. I thank you very much.